The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Richie.
I'm Little Matt.
And here in the 500 Section Lounge, we are three dads who host a family-friendly weekly podcast.
Yep, we laugh, we go on tangents, and we talk to great guests.
Tangents. I don't know what you're talking about with that. You know, there are gases leaking.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we have legendary conversations from sports to history and everything in between.
So be on the lookout for what we do next.
And always be there to
grab a listen.
Pinball Palooza.
Wanna fuck, fatty?
Mitch the bitch.
All that and more.
Did you get a red star under your seat?
No.
Oh.
Super Media Bros.
Well, that's just great. Now we can't go backstage to meet the banana splits.
Whatever will we do?
Not die.
I mean, it's kind of a bummer, though.
I know. I kind of wanted to get taken out by some animatronic puppets and not on a date. I mean, like a fucking sledgehammer to the head.
Yeah, I mean, what's a better way to go?
Nothing else.
No.
Welcome to episode 198 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
I'm Special Delivery Dev.
And Nic Cage November moves right along with Willy's Wonderland versus the Banana Splits movie on Cult Cinema Showdown 86. God damn. Look, we're just going to get right down to it. Both of these fucking movies were obviously heavily inspired by the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, with one of them being a Hanna-Barbera property and the other one being what Five Nights at Freddy's the movie probably will be when it eventually happens.
Whenever that may be.
Right. So let's just get into the Banana Splits movie first, since that's the first one we watched. That was my probably third viewing of it. Was that your first watch?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like, before the movie started, I'd never even heard of the property. I had seen the poster, like, in passing, but I didn't know what it actually was.
It's a shitload of fuck.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Pretty much.
Look, we're not going to deep dive either of these movies because it really is, you see what you get. Like, you look at the poster, that's one of those rare cases of, all right, I've seen the poster, I'm actually getting what's on the poster.
Yeah, nothing more or less.
It's not a fucking lie. Like, we've been lied to several times before in the past.
Specifically for Cult Cinema Showdown.
Exactly.
Like, it's so bad.
Ugh. All right. So the Banana Splits movie essentially is the Banana Splits characters are a television series, like it's a live shit, you know, kind of how Barney the Dinosaur or, you know, shit like that was. I mean, in this movie, not in real life. So it's these four animatronic characters, Fleagle, Bingo, Drooper, and Snorky. This is the main character, the child Harley. That's his favorite character of the four. Oh, I forgot about Stevie because, you know, everybody forgets Stevie.
Yeah, we all kind of hate him.
And so does really everybody in the fandom of this show. Nobody gives a shit. So the movie opens and you find out that this child is supposed to be getting tickets to this taping as a surprise from his mom. Well, the mom is married to this dude named Mitch, and we like to call him Mitch the bitch because he's a fucking bitch.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he really is. So the mom, Beth, has a son, Austin, who is actually the half-brother because Mitch is his stepdad, but Mitch is actually Harley's dad. So you kind of get the idea that he really is a piece of shit in the opening sequences of this movie where Harley is all about this TV show and he's excited about it. He's singing along and, you know, he's kind of perceived as the weird kid because he's into this shit still and he's young, but I guess he doesn't have many friends, or his friends are just like, oh, I don't understand why he's still into it. Even his own dad is like, you know, you're too old to call me daddy and you're too old to be watching this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, like what you fucking like. Don't be a douche nozzle. I mean, come on.
I mean, It's so hard for me to process because that was my childhood too.
Like being told that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's stupid.
Well, what's funny is like you're a father, I'm not. So I'm hearing this and I'm like, wait a minute, he kind of speaking facts. I thought this was just normal. I just thought your dad is supposed to hate the shit that you like.
No, I don't. No, dude. Like it's so fucked up though. Like this, like, it's possible to be like, it's kind of annoying, you know. Like every parent has that point in their life where like, okay, like my kid has watched the same episode of this cartoon like 100 fucking, like if they own the son of a bitch, you know.
Right.
But I don't know if I was ever like that with certain like cartoons because I just watched all the shit that I watched a lot of the shit growing up. And then my kid watched the same shit that I watched growing up, but then he watches new shit and I like watching it with him and you know, round and round it goes.
Right, yeah.
But it goes so far as to whenever at the birthday table, whenever they're, you know, presenting him with his cake, the mom has like all these tickets and the dad, Mitch, was just like, oh, we're really going to fucking go here. I don't want to fucking go there. And he's just like a dick about it. But then he immediately takes credit for getting the tickets and all this other shit. Like, go figure. What a dick move. Piece of shit.
Now that part was not my childhood.
Right.
As far as I know.
Shit. So they wind up calling one of the classmates of Harley because the original fifth ticket was supposed to go, or the sixth ticket, however many tickets there were, was supposed to go to his friend Duncan or whatever, and he wound up being sick. So they called one of his classmates, Zoe, to go with him. So when they get there, again, it's not really so much a deep dive. This is kind of just introducing the characters that we see here. Like, there's a couple of people that are obviously big fans of the series that are grown. And I guess they're live streamers or some bullshit?
Yeah, the one guy with the hat and the girl, he was doing like an Instagram live. And that it was at that moment where I looked at you, I was like, when was this made? I thought this was like an older movie.
It was was it Thad and Poppy was their name?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah, it was like, it's 2019 is when this came out.
Well, see, I didn't even realize. I could have sworn I've seen that poster for like 5 years, 6 years.
That's because it feels dated already.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with the fact that the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, even though they still put shit out, it still feels dated.
Yeah.
And I'm actually wearing a fucking t-shirt. I thought it was only appropriate that I wear a Five Nights at Freddy's t-shirt for this shit. But yeah, it's dated as fuck, just like this t-shirt. But yeah, no, it's these fucking live streamers. And then you see the show hostesses, Paige and her assistant, Doug. There's this dude named Jonathan and his daughter named Parker. And this goddamn shit here is that typical stage dad or stage parent where they're just like, well, we're trying to get in and meet the producer of the show because like my kid is specially and talented and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, God, all right. Way to pimp your fucking kid out, you asshole.
And for the first like 3 quarters, we don't even know what the girl does.
Right.
So I'm just looking at her like, so what's she do?
What the fuck? What's so special about this kid?
She just stand there.
She just stands there and just whatever. No, but that's your main cast of people aside from the family that's coming here. And immediately Austin, the half brother, then was he 19 or some shit?
Yeah, he was 19.
Yeah, he immediately like semi hits on Paige, and I laughed at first because your reaction was like, "Oh no, there ain't no way that's working." Oh wait, all right, he did work. That did work. What the fuck?
And I shouldn't even have questioned it because I tried some eerily similar in high school. I was at the bus stop and I asked this chick, "Hey, can I borrow your phone real quick? I need to call my mom." She's like, yeah. Hands me her phone. I texted myself and then I was like, all right, I got your number now. You can have your phone back.
Right.
And it worked. I scored a couple of dates, so I shouldn't have doubted this shit. But in a movie, for some reason,
you always expect the rejection.
Yeah, especially because look at him and look at her.
Yeah, and then like she turns around and gives him that look of approval, like, oh, all right, you sly. And he's just like, fuck yeah, I did it. I look like a bum as fuck, but I did it.
I know.
That poor bastard.
He looked like we all did in like 2014.
Exactly. As the movie starts to progress, you figure out that there is a new vice president of the studio who just up and tells the entire like team behind the scenes that he's canceling the show, even though it's wildly successful still. It doesn't fit his narrative for the programming. And then you got a dude that's working on the animatronics and he updates them with new software because Drooper malfunctions. And then, yeah, Drooper overhears the network cancelization. So now the animatronics are pissed off, which I think is fucking funny because Stevie drunkenly is just like, yeah, I never liked working with you sons of bitches and all this other shit. I mean, we're going to skip over some of the plot because, I mean, let's be honest. We're here for the fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
So you figure out that is going on. And then Mitch has been cheating on his wife, Beth, with another woman. And she figures this out, of course, because Austin has asked Paige to hook them up with red stars under their seat, because if you had a red star under your seat, you get to meet the banana splits. So here's where the chaos ensues. You've got your set of people that are going to meet them. And all of a sudden, instead of just taking a tour and meeting the banana splits, which they do, it turns into a goddamn slaughter. And the kills in this were pretty good. I'll never forget when I first watched this, I was like, okay, it's a cool concept, but are they really gonna go through with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because once I realized that it was a real actual IP, I thought to myself, okay, so how tame is this gonna be?
Did you think it was gonna be a lot of off-screen?
Yes. I thought it was gonna be bullshit. Yeah, like I didn't think they were actually gonna have the balls to fucking do it.
The Banana Shits movie. Was it the Drizzling Shits? No, it was not.
No, it was actually pretty good.
All right, so one of the kills happens to to Thad, the male partner of the I'm just gonna call him the Instagram Live couple, because the whole idea is that they had their phones taken from them before they entered the actual studio, because they weren't supposed to have phones, but she snuck one in. So they're filming, and then was it Flegel that comes up and Flegel, dude, he traps him in this fucking old school magic box where you get sawed in half. Bruh.
Dude, and the sickening fact that he forced the fiance to cut this man in half and then left her alive to just go insane. Like, this shit is dark.
Bro, yeah, because like he kicks the fucking thing open, because you know how you can usually when this trick is done, you don't pull it straight apart. You kind of push it towards the audience to where it opens up like a door. Like the middle section opens up. And dude, this dude's insides, his guts and like his bowels and everything just fucking like cascade out of his stomach.
Yeah.
Or his side, or well, his two halves now. Basically,
yeah. The torso.
That motherfucker, oh God. Like, I loved it because they spared no expense, as John Hammond from Jurassic Park would put it, on the insides and the entrails and shit. Like, it didn't look bad.
No, not at all. Especially for the budget. Like, what was the budget?
I read, and I'm probably getting it wrong. I read somewhere that I know Willy's Wonderland was a $5 million budget, and I kind of feel like this movie may have had at least like 2 or 3. It had to have had at least like a $2 or $3 million budget, maybe 4 or 5. But I would like to think that was spent on like the production of like the suits and, you know, the sets and all this other shit. But still, it was really grotesque, and I loved it because I was like, oh my God, they're fucking doing it, you know? And Snorky is missing, like, but he's just kind of like around the lot driving their yellow car, because at one point, I forgot to mention, when they're standing in line, they almost run Harley over because he steps out and he's like excited to see them and shit. And he has like that face to face. Like, you remember in Home Alone whenever the wet bandits almost run Kevin over in the driveway, and he's just like, ah! Like, that's what it looked like, but a little shitty Power Wheels Camaro or some shit.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It's like a fucking clown car of motherfuckers just driving, and they almost run this child over. Dude, could you imagine the fucking lawsuits? Like, that is it was already getting canceled anyway.
That's
but
what I was about to say. Like, who cares? They're getting canceled.
Right, and like, this is before they find out, but especially now, it's like, we gotta hurry up and cancel this shit before they sue us, and we have money for them to get. Shut it down.
Before they lose money.
Right.
Fuck.
That's fucked up, isn't it? It's like, fuck, we want to hang on to the money we still have. Shut it down.
That sounds like some fucking, like, old-ass carny bullshit.
It really fucking does. Like, I would not doubt if like, a company really would do that.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
So the fucked up part that I also forgot to mention about the whole Poppy and Thad situation is that, like, right before he gets moited, he fucking proposed to her on live stream, and yeah. So
all 218 people stayed to watch.
That's right. And she was just kind of like later, like you see her, she's still there, like holding his hand, and just like her eye makeup is just smeared from crying, and she's just like lost her shit. Well, dude, the way that Stevie gets fucking killed is fucking hilarious with that giant lollipop.
Dude, for real, like, he just shoves it down his throat, twists it around a couple of times, jabs it on even more like a plunger. She was insane.
All that blood just fucking poured out of his mouth like.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? This was a fucking Boomerang cartoon?
Yeah, like all these characters from the 60s and the early 70s and shit just coming around and killing your ass. Like, motherfucker, dude.
Blew my mind. Because like, somewhere there's like an older person who sees the DVD in stores and is like, oh shit, I remember this.
I'm gonna get that for my grandson.
Yeah. 5 minutes into the fucking movie. What the fuck? Dude, it's just like whenever that one Justice League cartoon where, oh god, I forget who it was, but a character, like, within the first couple of minutes shoots himself in the fucking head.
Right.
And I was like, I was a small child. I was like, what the fuck?
So later in this series of unfortunate events, this is definitely not Lemony Snicket, but after this fucking shit happens, all these kids are gone. This tour has been like torn apart. Like, you have like the shitty dad going, like trying to take his daughter around finding the executives or whatever. Well, he gets fucking torched in the face by one of the animatronics, and it's pretty goddamn funny.
That's the thing. I shouldn't laugh, but I have to, because it'd be different if that was the only scene with him after the fact. But he's in it for like another like 30 minutes looking like this shit, looking like Freddy Krueger. So it's like, in my mind, I have so much imagery of it, and this is where it stems from.
He fucking deserved it, though, because, like, he found so he finds the producer, and he's like, oh, look what my daughter can do. So he starts, like, beatboxing while she sings My Humps. And she's got to be, like, what, 10, 11?
Something like that,
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the lady stops him, like, 2 seconds in, and was just like, that's fucking weird.
She goes, stop. That's disturbing.
It really was. But yeah, that motherfucker just, you ever go into Circle K and you see the hot dog roller and you see the one hot dog that's literally been on the roller all day that everybody has just neglected, and it's all bubbly and just gross looking?
Yeah.
That's what his face looked like.
He's like, if you took that, either the first or the last piece of bread in the little sack, and you just toasted that shit. That one piece of bread that everybody just flips through, they ignore it.
You talking about the very first, or you talking about like before or after the hill pieces?
Yeah.
The one piece that isn't as soft as the rest, and it's just kind of just crusty in there. Yeah, that motherfucker looked crispy as shit. God damn. But yeah, the fact that he went through more of this movie like that, because at one point, Beth is running around with Austin and they find Poppy with Thad's corpse, and then the producer lady runs out and she's like, I assure you, everything's under control. Like, the banana splits do not kill people. And that motherfucker just comes barreling out of the staging door and falls the fuck over. Then it's like, yeah, they don't kill people. All right. So she gets, like, the producer lady and burnt to a crisp dude get fucking found at one point by two of the animatronics, and they get sent on the obstacle course that they had set up for the kids during one of the tapings. And it was fucked up because she gets her hand and fingers broken, and the dude's already burnt to a crisp. So yeah, it's oof.
No, the part that got me is when she slips and falls down hand first, and it's just all crunched up, bent in like 12 different angles.
Oh, I swear to God, I think I probably mention this every time me and you record. That's one of those things that I cringe at. Like, give me all the decapitations, give me all of the body mutilations and all this other bullshit. But if I see like broken bone or bone through skin and it's just oh God, it fucking makes me hurt.
Well, it's because in your head, you've probably done something at least similar.
Right.
So like you can process that pain. You've never been decapitated as far as I know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, ever since I've met you, you've kind of had your head on.
Yeah, I mean, I try.
Fucking corny.
I don't give a shit. It's funny. But what makes me laugh is they get to the end of the obstacle course. Burnt Face McGee has already like face planted into the jelly that's all over the fucking floor, like that slippery bullshit, which he comes out of it. When he fucking picks his head up, he looks like he stuck his face in one of those mouse glue traps and he's trying to pull it off his face. It's so gross. And then he finally gets to the top of the finish line. And he's like, well, where's the key? Because, like, you get a key to, I guess, open the door or whatever the fuck. So he gets the key jammed in his back and exposes his spine. And the fucking animatronic up there is just like, oh, it's time to dive. And he fucking throws his ass off and he completely misses the landing pad and just splats. And at one point, that producer chick was bitching in the beginning about how, like, the hammer they were going to use, like, for the prop during the set was too small. Well, she's climbing up there and that fucking animatronic had the big one and she just looks up. She was like, oh, giant hammer. And she just gets fucking plowed right in the goddamn head. Like her eye pops out of its socket and she just falls into the ball pit.
Dude. At that point, I was like, makeup's really good for a fucking like small budget.
Right. But I was sitting there thinking, wow, she got head and is surrounded by balls. She's in hog heaven right now, dude. At some point, you figure out the children have been taken by the animatronics and they get trapped where Carl, the animatronic operator, like has kept all these fuckers. And yeah, it's a whole like creepy shit show down there.
Just a weird dungeon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But it's because the programming is basically the banana splits are essentially trying to keep the show going, because that was the entire idea, is that, oh, they're programmed to keep the show going. They don't accept the fact that their show has been canceled. So they're imprisoning these children and keeping them cuffed and shackled and performing the show. But now it's more death and destruction in front of these children. I mean, these kids are going to be scarred for fucking life.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that. There's no amount of therapy or anything that can fix this.
No, nothing's going to happen to do any of that shit. Yeah, no. And Carl winds up getting killed because Poppy finds a costume that was meant for a fifth banana split that never got made, and it's just an owl. So she puts the mask and this claw on, and she Freddy Krueger's his ass in his little cage.
Yeah, I genuinely want to know if that was like a weird industry nod, like if that was ever a real concept, or if that was a character and that's the cameo, or if it was just some random thing that they did for this one movie. But I'm really curious to look into that.
No, I think that was something that was specifically created for the movie, just to have that kind of horror element, because you got to notice it doesn't look as colorful as the rest of them do.
No, not at all. And I noticed that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it looks very crude, and yeah. But anyway, I know we've like mulled over like a shitload in this movie, but like before we get to how it wraps up, I do want to point out that Mitch the bitch does get run over by Snorky in the yellow car. Like, yeah. It gets chased down and just ran the fuck over. God, Jesus fuck. So by the end of the movie, the kids are being rescued and they find this underground passage, but they find all the adults and the staff just in piles. There are just bodies stacked everywhere. But Flegel and Drooper are holding all these kids hostage, and they've fucked all this shit up. I forgot about the vice president that canceled the show. They tied this motherfucker to a giant wheel. And they basically draw and quartered this motherfucker. They ripped his limbs off.
Yeah, and just let him like flop to the floor.
Dude, his fucking torso and his face just he smacked the shit out of the floor. And I'm like, how is he? He's fucking leaking everywhere from his face.
He fucking got crushed.
Bro, he did. Yeah, we told you he did. He did. But anyway, in this underground sequence, it's kind of sad because Snorky, being the favorite of Harley, who has got to be traumatized by this fucking point.
Oh, dude, he's fucked up.
Yeah, he's definitely fucked up. But Snorky comes and he gives these keys to Harley to free like all the kids and shit. Well, Flegel and Drooper are killed by Beth and Austin. And then as Parker is trying to get all these kids to exit and shit, Snorky he appears and he fights Bingo because like we were making fun of how this is kind of like the fucking like boiler room brawl portion of it. Like it reminded me so much of like Undertaker and Mick Foley in that fucking SummerSlam match they did. They were just beating the shit out of each other. And they both kill each other because pretty much what happens is like Snorky gets its heart ripped out, or mechanically speaking, gets its heart ripped out, and then it crushes Bingo's fucking head, and they just fall the fuck over. And it's supposed to be touching and sad, but it's only because it's only if you really feel for this kid, because he's just like, you'll always be my favorite, Snorky. He just like falls over dead, and you're just like, oh, that poor fucking kid.
That's really how you feel because like. They try to give you some form of emotional connection with these characters, you know, but really it's just kind of Harley. It's association, really.
Yes, yeah. Snorky's just this. It's just an elephant, but he always like talked highly of this fucking character. So you're just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, like one more scene of them together, and I think that could have actually packed more of a punch.
It could have sealed the deal.
Yeah.
So one other thing is that Beth knows that Mitch the bitch was cheating on her because she finds like she grabs his phone and sees all the fucking text messages, because at one point he disappears. Like he's just not into any of this shit at all. So he just walks off and just on his phone. He's like, oh, it's work. And she sees that it's happening because like Austin has been alluding to like, come on, mom, he's a piece of shit. You know, he's probably like fucking around on you or whatever. So as everybody's getting like ambulanced and shit, you know, he comes up to her, he's like, babe, I got run over by a car and it just made me realize how much I love you and blah blah blah. And she punches his ass to the ground. She's like, I want a divorce, and doop, and unlocks her car, and everybody's getting like hauled off in meat wagons and all kinds of shit, and he's running like hobbled on one leg. He's like, I'm injured. And then out of fucking nowhere, this is the scene that you were talking about, how he just gets fucking massacred by the goddamn tra-la-la-la-lolly.
Just fucking. And dude, it was brutal too. Like they made sure that you saw that shit. That's where the budget went, was to that one shot.
That bucket of blood. Like they just spent they spent like a 1.5 million on blood.
Yeah.
You can tell whenever they're trying to like get rid of the rest of it on one shot. Because that shit looked foamy and bubbled when they poured it out. Like, you know, I know you saw that shit. Yes. Like the tires are like hitting it, and you just see like sloshes of blood and like chunks of body mass just flying everywhere.
Looks like they took just a whole bucket of the fake blood and just poured it down on the cement right there.
We don't give a fuck if the bucket's in the shot. Just leave it. Just, as a matter of fact, just pour it in the back of the car so it just leaks out as they drive
Good
by.
God.
I'm telling you, dude. He gets run the fuck over, and it winds up being Poppy in the fucking Hootie outfit with all the animatronic pieces in the back of the car, and she's singing the Tra-La-La theme, and it seems to allude to she's going to be the new caretaker of the Banana Splits, and yeah, that's pretty much the Banana Splits movie. Think your holiday spread is good? It's time to give thanks to the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, or as I like to call it, the perfect package for your package. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Think of it as a cornucopia for your balls. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Plus, it's waterproof. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop up your worst weeds up top in your nose and ears. This ear and nose hair trimmer uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system to provide proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps to prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Don't forget about Manscaped's liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Toner Spray. It's like the pumpkin pie and ice cream after Thanksgiving dinner. You can't live without it. Your balls will be as juicy as a Thanksgiving turkey with these formulations. For the gifters out there, Manscaped is sealing the deal with 2 free gifts from their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Gifting Manscaped is the ultimate hack to becoming the favorite family member. Manscaped has been busy and just launched their refined body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. Both feature the Manscaped signature scent and will help you unlock your confidence this year. Your boys and body will be oh so fresh and clean when you start off your self-care routine with the ultimate body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code SUPER at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Have you ever wondered why space demons ride quad bikes?
Was the making of Face Off sponsored by a fireworks manufacturer?
What's more scary, a blacksmith copyright pirate or a bunch of skeletons?
How about, why is this weatherman so soggy?
For all this and more, join me, Callum,
As he tries to initiate me, Chelsea, into the wild and wacky world of the Nicolas Cage cinematic universe in This Podcast is Written on the Back of the Declaration of Independence.
You can find us on your podcatchers of choice and on all of the social media channels at Nic Cage Pod, N-I-C, only true spellings of Nick here. The true spelling.
Let's move over to Willy's Wonderland, because just in case you were wondering, well, where does Nicolas Cage fit? Like, how do you do a Nicolas Cage episode for Nic Cage November and only one of the movies has him in there? Well, obviously the connection is the fucking animatronics.
Yeah.
This movie just happens to have a Nicolas Cage that has no dialogue.
I kept waiting for it to happen too, like at the very end, nothing.
Like literally no dialogue. This man has committed fully. Like, you know, people try to say that Nic Cage is a bad actor. He's definitely not a bad actor whatsoever.
No, there are several scenes in here where he emotes a lot of emotion and dialogue just by looking at you.
Right. It's not even so much just that. I mean, in general, like, this man has got to have carefully picked his roles. I mean, at one point, he was taking anything he could get just to pay some debt off. But you know, at the end of the day, this man has stated as much that he loves acting and he loves making movies too.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm going to watch this shit.
Especially because he comes off like he's not even acting in this. They just put him on set and said, go wild.
No shit. I'm telling you, dude. So, the basic ass plot of this film is just like a Five Nights at Freddy's video game. He's this drifter and he is on the outskirts of Nevada and he gets flat tires because, make a long story short, this town has this place called Willy's Wonderland and they know that the animatronics in this place fucking murder people. So they couldn't keep the motherfucker open. So to contain the killings, they made a peace offering with the animatronics that they would feed them. And they do this by laying traps out where they can strand people in their town, fix up their vehicles, and offer them, like, hey, we'll pay for your vehicle to be fixed if you clean the restaurant out and you survive the night. Nobody survives the night. So now you've got, you know, these people just collecting their cars and all this other bullshit. The sheriffs are in on it. Like, everybody's fucking in on it. So Nic Cage falls into this trap and they're like, hey, you clean this motherfucker and yeah, we'll fix your car. So I'm not going to get into what the fucking names are of these goddamn animatronic mascots because it doesn't really fucking matter, to be honest with you. The other plot is that this character named Liv and her friends are going to try to burn the whole place down. They have been trying, and she keeps constantly getting arrested for it. And they don't understand at first why this is happening, but they eventually know that the whole town is in on it. So they're trying to torch this motherfucker to the ground. Can we talk about the fact that Nic Cage is only referred to as the janitor in this movie, and this motherfucker likes to drink punch pop?
Yes. Yes, we can acknowledge that.
To the extent that he sets an alarm on his G-Shock wristwatch. I don't know if it's a G-Shock wristwatch.
It definitely looked like a Casio, however you pronounce it.
He's got the Casio wristwatch. Not to mention the fact that he was like, it's so funny. Like, I like that they don't explain why he's such a badass or why he drinks the fuck out of this punch pop. Like, it seems like every 30 minutes in his movie or his real world time in the movie. But for us, it's almost every 5 minutes. This motherfucker is like getting sugar diabetes.
And that's the thing too. He will drop everything for it.
Literally everything for it. The man is a great cleaner, though.
Yeah, like, dude, not only is he great at what he does, like, I saw this man, like, completely refurbish shit, but also he's dedicated to his craft. It didn't matter if somebody just died right in front of him. All right, I'll clean the blood.
Yeah, he had almost, like, he has visceral reactions to when he has to defend it. Like, when he's mopping, for instance, he fights the ostrich, and it doesn't. The funny thing is that he doesn't even question what's happening.
No, not at all.
He just beats the shit out of this ostrich, like goes full on rage cage, beats the shit out of this ostrich, sacks it up in a trash bag, realizes he can't get out the door, and he's just like, oh, fuck it, and just leaves the bag at the door.
Yeah.
And then he just cleans himself off, grabs a new Willy's Wonderland t-shirt, mops up the mess, and then moves on to clean the bathroom.
It's almost like, without even saying anything, because he doesn't speak in this, but he's just kind of like, yeah, I have a job to do. I'm going to finish it.
Right. He's like, I need to get my car. It's like, I don't give a fuck about anything but anime out there.
I don't even think it was that. I would like to think that he genuinely just has that much of a work ethic and dedication.
He's like, I ain't letting shit stop me.
Nope. I have work integrity.
And the only thing that's going to stop me is my punch pop.
That might be the thing.
Which he found, I thought it was funny. Like, he took his sack of punch pop with him out the car, and he found a refrigerator that works in there, and he put them all in there so he could have them while he's working. And then between cleaning and drinking his punch pops, he uncovers this pinball machine. And apparently this man is just really good at pinball.
Never explained.
No, not at all. But the attention to detail, like you mentioned, him refurbishing shit, like the attention to detail that he took to cleaning this pinball machine, just like he's cleaned this entire place up. Bro, that motherfucker was caked in like 2-inch dust bunnies and like rust and all kinds of crusty bullshit. But that thing looked immaculate by the time he got done with it.
Brand new. Just a completely new machine.
And the fact that like he got a slice on his cheek from the beak of the ostrich, and he just puts duct tape on it. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah. He duct tapes his whole fucking
his torso, right?
Yeah.
Who did he fight in the bathroom? The gorilla?
Yes.
Yeah, he beats the shit out of this gorilla in the bathroom, and that was he curb stomped the shit out of that thing against that urinal. Like, he splattered that motherfucker so hard. I was like, God damn.
Oil splattered all over his face.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up too, because part of me thinks, oh, he's so pissed off because he realizes, fuck, I gotta clean all this again, so I'm extra beating the fuck out of this thing because I'm already gonna have to clean it up. So if it gets even more messy, fuck it, I'm gonna beat the shit out of it. That just explains why it's so messy to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these kids we mentioned earlier, like Liv and her friends, you know, she gets detained, and she noticed the janitor getting brought into town by the sheriff and the other ass clown that does the mechanic shop. So as they go to burn this place down, they realize he's inside, and she's just like, we're not fucking burning this place with him inside. We're going to go get him out. So the kids, one by one, and then eventually all together, just fall into this place through the roof while she goes through the fucking air ducts, which I had to point this out. For such a dirty, rundown fucking place that has needed cleaning from years, these are the shiniest, cleanest air ducts I've ever seen in my fucking life. Wouldn't you think at some point the insides of there would be really like dilapidated and fucked up?
You would think, but not here. No. He John McClaned himself up there and just cleaned it already.
That's exactly what happened. He's just fucking like, yep. Just fucking crawling through there, cut up and shit in a white tank top and fucking jeans and...
I don't even put it past him.
Right, like he's probably got a cigarette lighter. He probably doesn't even smoke, but he's got a fucking cigarette lighter up there just because this character is weird as fuck. Like he's dressed cool as shit. Like I don't mean weird in a bad way. It's just like he drives this really badass Camaro. He drinks this specific soda that he keeps in the trunk of his car. He's got a leather racing jacket, these really badass looking boots, these fucking awesome sunglasses, a sweet beard, and it's just, I don't know, man, there was just something kid-like about him. Am I wrong to think that there's like a little bit of like a kid-like quality about this character where he's like really into these pinball machines and he's drinking this soda? Because the soda Punch Pop looks very much like it should be on brand with this specific restaurant.
Yeah.
So he's beating the shit out of these animatronics for fucking his cleaning job up. These kids are trying to get him out. Well, the story gets told that the reason that all this is happening is that this serial killer owned Willy's Wonderland and that he had 7 partners that murdered families there. And apparently they had some kind of like satanic ritual to like transfer their souls into the animatronics. You know, like Five Nights at Freddy's, how like they killed the kids and shoved their souls into these animatronics and all this other bullshit. Well, after this story is told, a lot of these fuckers come to life and start attacking everybody in the place. Because this one kid gets fucking impaled with a sword, and I was just like, wow, the little dwarf from fucking Lord of the Rings grew up, didn't he? Beard got redder, his sword got longer. Well, I mean, he had an axe, but still, like, he's like, oh, fuck it, I'm traded in for this fucking sword. I can pierce motherfuckers.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. And the other 2 kids get fucking killed. Well, this other couple, they sneak off to go fuck. And then the alligator, that animatronic literally eats the shit out of the dude.
Well, after he watched.
Oh, my God. He's watching us. Well, let's give him a show.
Yeah, and the fucking gator just stands there for what, like 15 minutes?
Oh, he's jerking it in the corner. You know he's fucking sitting over there just beating one out. And he's just looking and he's just like, yeah, get it.
Deeper.
Oh, and then, you know, she's just like, babe. And he's like, that wasn't me. And then they look over like, what the fuck?
I'd like to think there's a deleted scene where the fucking alligator really does go, oh yeah. And she goes, what? Yeah. And he goes, it wasn't me. They look at him. He's just standing there, doesn't blink, nothing. So they're just like, oh, fuck it, whatever. Just hearing shit.
Right. Oh, God. I would pay money to see that cut.
Release the cut.
Release the Kraken. Anyways, he gets fucking killed, and then she's screaming, and then at the same time, Liv has found the janitor, so they're walking down the hallway, and he just kicks the door open. Like, he Sparta kicks that door wide the fuck open, and he just, like, climbs on top of the alligator and just pummels it to fucking death, and just, splits his jaw, like, wide open, and it just fucks it up, man.
Oh, yeah. Just fucking King Kongs him.
That's so funny, dude, because he's just like he's like, fucking looks like one of those fucking
speed bags.
I wish they would have put that sound effect in there. Just like he's just on top, just beating the shit out of this fucking alligator animatronic, dude. Oh, but at some point, the sheriff and her, I guess, rookie sidekick are called, and they're just like, God damn it, because they realize Liv got in, and so they go, and eventually they find Willy, and they try to kill him. Like she's holding him at gunpoint, like you're gonna die, because like this. That she basically explains to him like the deal that they had and all this other bullshit. And I think Willy kills her because she's like talking all this shit, and he just pops up behind her. And Willy is like the main, mascot of the whole thing, obviously, but he's just this giant fuck. What was he? A weasel?
A weasel or a ferret, something like that.
He tears her in half. Like when I say tears her in half, I mean it looks like he just kind of punches her top half off of her body. It's pretty goddamn funny the way it really happened, is. Dude. He just fucking just falls the fuck apart, dude. And then he beats the shit out of Willy and fucking rips its head off.
Yeah. Like, no force into it either. He just bloop.
Yeah, he just pops it right off. The next morning comes around, and Tex and Jed, that's their names. I keep forgetting their names. He's like, Tex, just like the state. And I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot.
With his fake mustache.
Right, dude. No shit, that's fake as fuck. Like, he rolls up in that bitch, and he's just like, God damn it. And Jed's like, huh? And he's looking around, and he sees the lock chain on the ground like it's been broken into, and sees the doors open. He's like, oh, God damn it. And he leans in and he sees all of the clean walls and everything. And he's just like, oh, I'll be a son of a bitch, motherfucker. Like, he's so mad and shit. And then fucking Freebird starts playing, which I swear to God, I started laughing. I was like, are we really going here with fucking Freebird?
And what's even better is we watched it with subtitles.
Right.
And the subtitles just put in brackets, 70s country music plays.
Yeah, 70s country rock ballad plays.
Yeah.
So dumb. But it's Nicolas Cage like putting his shit back onto Freebird and walking out, and just he sees Tex and he just holds his hand out like, give me my motherfucking keys. He drops the keys in his hand and he gets his vehicle back, and he invites Liv to accompany him because they're the only two survivors, and she rolls off with him. And then basically Jed and Tex are just sitting there, and Tex is like, you know what? I got to take my hat off to the guy. I can't believe it. That is one tough hombre. And they're like, all right, well, fuck yeah. We should reopen it since all the, animatronics are dead. But Sarah, one of the animatronics, is still alive. And she has set their car on fire with gasoline, and then they all three blow the fuck up in the parking lot. And the janitor and Liv are driving out of the city, and he hands her one of the punch pops to drink. And then Tito the turtle is like malfunctioning and limping on the highway. And I got to say, they run the turtle over. And I don't mean like run it over, like they hit it and he fucking just explodes into pieces. You got to think like a 6.5 foot animatronic turtle, like a big heavy hunk of metal. It would not have exploded the car, but I feel like it definitely would have fucked up something in it enough to stop the car from functioning.
The car would have been totaled.
Like if not like fucking it up, it would have caused him to like veer off and hit a tree. Something.
Yeah.
How fucked up would it have been? It's like, all right, we finally escaped, but I'm going to be an asshole and run this animatronic over, and at the same time, I'm going to be stuck in this town again.
Shit, that might be the sequel.
I was going to say, Willy's Wonderland 2, I fucked up my car again.
Let's make it happen, Hollywood.
Let's do it. I don't know if a sequel's going to get made, dude. This movie didn't make a whole bunch.
Really?
Dude, it was a $5 million budget, and it didn't even make $500,000.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, man.
It feels like this is a cult classic, though, at this point.
It already was. This is one of those weirdly instant cult films, like just like Banana Split's movie was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like, dude, I could have sworn this movie made money.
It should have. I mean, and it's not just because it's Nic Cage November, but honestly, like you even mentioned it, this movie was better at what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
So obviously, Willy's Wonderland takes the victory this week, but Jesus Christ, man. Banana Splits movie was no slouch.
No, it wasn't. It's just like, it felt like Willy's Wonderland had, if not a bigger budget necessarily, it had more people that were seasoned. It had more production value and things like that. It just felt like it had more to work with.
Not to mention the fact that I feel like Willy's Wonderland also picked the pace up at an earlier start.
Yeah.
Not that Banana Splits was slow or that it dragged on, but it took a minute to get to that point. And I feel like Willy's Wonderland just kind of amped up as soon as you saw him go in. You're like, oh, all right, here we go. And it didn't let up. I mean, it let up a little bit, but like I thought it was so cool seeing Nic Cage just be crazy beating the shit out of these things. And it was never explained why he's so tough and why he's impervious to getting his ass kicked in this one, because I'll be honest, I like seeing that kind of Nic Cage where he just beats the shit out of people.
Yeah. It was just an enjoyable movie.
It really was, and it is. Like, it's definitely something you will want to gather with friends, drink a shit ton of soda, eat a bunch of shitty food, and just laugh your goddamn ass off at him beating the fuck out of these things, because it's not one of those unintentionally funny movies. You're rooting for him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's coming, but you're like, fuck yeah, just kick some ass, man.
Fucking destroy them all.
Destroy them all. Oh my God, yes. So next week, we're going to take a look at Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. It's not even like a versus movie. We're just going to watch them and give our thoughts on them and maybe point out some of the shit like CGI that maybe didn't hold up as well. Was the sequel better? Was the first one better? You know, pros and cons, things of that sort. You know we're going to riff on them. We got to.
Yeah.
So definitely stick around for that. Visit supermediabrospodcast.com to listen to past, present, and future episodes. Check out all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a rating and review on Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, or GoodPods. Buy some motherfucking merch.
God damn it. Buy fucking merch.
Buy the fucking merch. I also forgot to mention in Willy's Wonderland how many of those fucking punch pops he drank.
There's got to be a count online.
Somewhere. But what I was laughing at, it was always like the same, like zoom in, like you would hear deet deet, and you hear it's, and he would just drink a whole one, and then he would just hear, and he would just throw the shit away. Like, god damn, man. That poor can.
All crumbled up like that.
I crumbled that can and it sprayed me in the face.
That's what you get for crumbling it.
Poor Bubbly. Anyway, we're going to get the fuck out of here because it's late and we got shit to do.
Yeah.
Like sleep.
Yeah, we both got work in the morning.
So you're lucky you're getting this episode.
For real, dog. Like, I was really thinking like, shit, we both got to be up in the morning. You want to just record this in like a couple of days?
Nah, we're going to fucking do it in one shot, baby. That's how we do it over here.
The grind don't never end.
The grind don't stop. Never stop stopping.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop. Come on. If you want a good reference to that, go listen to Devin and I dissect the shit out of Veronica and Cradle of Fear. That episode is still around, we promise.
God. That was a rough one.
Oh, I know.
Not only the movies, but that was a rough one to stay up for. Because we literally stayed up until, 9 a.m.?
We started recording at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
and we just dragged it on for 4 fucking hours.
The episode didn't last 4 hours, though. It was just getting to it is what took us for fucking ever.
Dude, it was rough.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get the fuck out of here. We're going to get some sleep. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Tell your friends about it. Share them. Rate this episode. Review this episode. All that jazz. This was episode 198, Cult Cinema Showdown 86, Willy's Wonderland versus the Banana Splits movie. Until next week, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Special Delivery Dev.
Shades on.
We're off.